Good afternoon. Happy Friday and welcome to the Rotary Club of Brentwood. I'm Jane Covington, past president. Thank you. Filling in for President Drew Rogers today. We will start today's meeting with an invocation by Zach Benner, and then our pledge and four-way test will be led by Michael Kaplan.
All right, everyone, let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come before you with hearts, asking you for your grace to be a light in our lives. Grant us the wisdom to understand more deeply the power of God's amazing grace, to recognize it as a gift of your love, freely given, not something that we can earn. Help us trust that we are worthy of your grace, undeserving yet chosen. May we also be ever mindful to share your grace with others, extending the same mercy and grace that you have extended us. Guide us daily to keep our eyes on you, humbled by the power of your grace. Help us be faithful to you, knowing that your grace is ever present and available. May we all be filled with the joy of knowing that we can never be separated from the love of God. Let us be forever thankful for the gift of grace and the deeper understanding that we can have with him. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Now everybody join me in the pledge to our flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag. Now the four-way test, what we think, say, and do. First, second, third, and fourth.
We certainly hope so.
And now our club secretary will introduce guests and visiting Rotarians. Jennifer Bourne.
Okay, we have quite a few guests today, and luckily they're all right over here. So it's making my job really easy today. I'm going to start with Curry.
This individual is no guest. His name is Michael Carter. He's known to everyone, and he flew in last night from Florida just to listen to Jennifer.
Welcome, Michael. Sheila.
This is my other half, Paul Sheriff.
Yay.
Okay, got a really special guest today. I happened to meet this young lady on the way in today, and I'm happy she's here. I'm going to introduce her daughter first, Deb Taylor. Am I correct? Deb lives here in Brentwood. Okay, and our guest today is Jean. Is that right? Jean Cadwallader. Cadwallader. Okay, but anyway, Jean, we're happy to have you. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She's from New York. Her husband has been a Rotarian for several years. He passed away about 11 years ago, I think. And since having passed away, she has invested herself in Rotary events. And she told her daughter, I want to go to a Rotary Club meeting today. They're here. You went to the RI convention last year in Australia. Is that correct? She looked all over for Dick, but couldn't find him. Okay. But anyway, we're happy to have you here today.
I've been to several international conventions.
Well, we're happy you chose our club today.
All right. And also, just to remind you, we have quite a few people going through the process of membership right now. They are so close. Drew, right here. If you haven't met him yet, please make yourself known to him and say hello. He is like so official. He's being scheduled for orientation right now. And then Chris over here had orientation today. And unless Keely and Betsy scare him off, we should be inducting him very soon. So we're very happy to have you both. And please make yourself say hello to them. Okay, that's what we got. Thank you guys for coming.
Great. Thank you. Okay, so we have a few announcements. The first one, Jared just shared with me that club member Bill McCarthy called this morning and shared with Jared that his cancer is back in a more aggressive form, but they do have a new treatment that they're gonna try. And just if you happen to know Bill well, give him a call, check in on him, send him a card, something like that would be much appreciated. Community grant applications are due by next Friday, which is May 17th, and you can email them either to Steve Huff or Tom Carr. Laura Troop has an announcement about being a greeter.
As part of the Membership Growth Committee, we met last week and have kind of outlined some protocol for caring well for people who come to visit our club meetings. We are going to be adding a guest table in addition to the member check-in table in the lobby each week. But I would love for each of you to consider being a greeter and or a host. A host would be someone who would take a guest to join them for their meal, introduce them to others, tell them about their club experience and help them get engaged to see if this is a club that they might want to be part of. But we want to be a welcoming presence for anyone who is coming in to learn about us. We want to be hospitable and show how great our club is each week. So if you'd like to be part of that, Drew is going to include a link to sign up in next week's email. We'd love for you to participate. Thank you.
Awesome. And then the final announcement is that the Martin Center will be having an art show next Friday, May 17th, and they welcome all club members to come browse art and see if you might need something new for your house. Okay, now Betsy Crossley is going to lead us in Happy Bucks.
Jane saw that I had on my tennis shoes, so wear me out.
That's
All
right.
right, see, right away, starts on this side. Devin.
I'm happy today because when I walked in, I saw my old friend, Michael Carter. And for those of you who are newer members of the club, Michael was a member of our club for a good number of years, but much more important than that, he is one of the most amazing human beings you could meet and get to know. He does so much for others, and he's done it his entire career, but especially over the last 20 years. There is no end to the good things he has done in this world, both when he was a Rotarian and not. So before he leaves, sorry if you're in a hurry, before he leaves, shake his hand, get to know him. It's well worth it. It's great to have you here, Michael.
And even though he called you an old friend, I'll just say it's good to see you, young man. All right, who's next? Nobody? Come on. I'm gonna pick you out. All right, here we go. Jen.
So I'm putting my dollar in to pitch my program and just say thank you to everyone that I've reached out to that has agreed to be a mentor. Laura and Jennifer Bourne and I have been working really hard to streamline the new member process so that we're hospitable from the second that they walk in the door until they become a long-term member for us. So I took on the membership portion of it, and thank you so much. So pretty soon now you're going to be seeing new members with a red badge. That is generally the protocol for Rotary. So I have those on order. There's a little program that I'm asking the mentors to just kind of make sure that the new member knows what they don't know. DAC-DB and bring them to a service event or a committee or Rotary International. So thank you to everyone, and I look forward to getting this program kind of flowing from the second they come in the door with Laura until graduating to your permanent badge.
All right. Jeff or Steve, did I see one of you with your hand up? Nope. Yeah, thanks folks for sending in your pictures. Everybody but one person sent them in from last week. That's awesome.
Thanks, Betsy. Betsy and I were in leadership Brentwood together. So again, the best class ever. The best class. Yeah, put your hands down. There's the best class ever. Devin, thank you for the very kind remarks. And I'll really try to make this brief, but I was here some weeks ago and my dear friend Curry Andrews reaches out to me ever so often just to say hi. That's real friendship. And that's also very impactful to me. Because at the end of the day, people don't always remember, you don't always remember what people said, but you remember how they made you feel. And when I think about the relationships here, and I kind of alluded to this when I was here the last time, these are special relationships that I have with some of these people that I've known for 20 years. And so again, I think about you fondly, particularly the folks that I've known. And this is one of the best clubs that exists in the entire world, not just country. Your dedication, your giving back, your base of support truly does mirror my position of, again, what's important in life. Much is given, much is required. So again, it is expected that we give back. This club does. But I'm also here too, because again, I serve on the TPAC board, and Jennifer Turner, who is our executive director, outstanding, probably one of the best executive directors in the entire country. We've got this process, but we have this project that, again, we're pursuing to build a state-of-the-art, again, performing arts center on the East Bank. And it's going to be amazing, amazing facility that in fact is for all Tennesseans. It's just not for Brentwood. It's just not for Nashville. It's for all Tennesseans. But that leadership that has led to where we are now to build this amazing facility, which will kick off relatively soon, it's because of your leadership. So you really do and will receive, again, some information about what's coming, because this is going to be state-of-the-art facility or a state-of-the-art, again, institution that has done great work and is the envy of any performing arts facility, not facility, but entity that's in the entire country. They do good work where they are in a very dilapidated building. And so building this new facility is going to be something that I think that her staff will not only enjoy, but they deserve. They really do. But those who have been to team, seeing the work that they've done, the programs that they have, it's just, they're amazing people. She's got an amazing staff who I've been impressed with since I've been on the board. So I just, for all of you, I just suggest you continue to think about great work that you're doing, because it is wonderful work. You're saving lives, and I applaud you and I admire you.
Just want y'all to know he did put in a 5 for that, so I guess he can get. Anybody else? Anybody else? Jordan, go.
Mine is short and sweet. I'm putting in my 5 because this is the last week I will be in Nielsen, and next Saturday I have the pleasure of marrying my best friend, Mr. Sam Jones.
I guess we have to give you a new name tag, but all right, we can work on that. Anybody else? I'm going to put a 5 in as I turn the basket in to celebrate some folks who are relentless in what they do every week. Larry Kane and your crew with Steve and Hunter, and also Lena Sugis. You guys are there every week for us, so we appreciate you more than you know, doing the selfless and thankless job of everything you do. So thank you so much. And from that point on, I also want to thank anybody who's here as a president. Bless them. All right. Thank you, everybody.
So not only am I Drew today, I'm also Bert. And so I'll have the pleasure of introducing our speaker. And after Michael's teaser, I am excited to get this introduction out of the way and hear from Jennifer. That sounds like our program's going to be exciting today. So Jennifer Turner is the President and Chief Executive Officer for Tennessee Performing Arts Center, which is a Nashville-based nonprofit arts organization dedicated to excellence in performing arts and arts education. Since 1980, TPAC has welcomed more than 14 million audience members and served more than 2 million students, teachers, and adults with performances, teacher resources, professional development, classroom residencies, and enrichment programs. Formerly, Turner served as Executive Vice President and Managing Director for Segerstrom. Did I say that correctly? Center for Arts, which is an acclaimed arts institution in Southern California, where she built a world-class leadership team, led innovative community initiatives, and spearheaded a multi-million-dollar capital development project. With more than 20 years of experience in nonprofit arts, Turner previously was the chief operating officer for the National Historic Landmark Auditorium Theater in Chicago and held roles with Michigan Opera Theater and Shakespeare Theater Company. She's a graduate of Michigan State University and holds a graduate degree from Roosevelt University in Public Administration, Nonprofit Management. Jennifer, we're excited to hear from you. Thank you. First of all, I'm a proud Rotarian myself. I'm a member of the Nashville Club. This has got to be the warmest Rotary I've ever been in. You are all so lovely. Oh my gosh, from the moment I walked in the door. So you're doing well with the greeting at the door, by the way. That's going really well. And I want to say I'm not the only TPAC employee here. We have one of our team members for the past 10 years here, an usher, and gets to see all the shows and serves a really important function. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Please let us know, let us know. I'm really delighted to be here. I'm so excited about our future. You heard a little bit about where I've been, and so I'm not going to go into all of that. But I will say that I've spent over 26, 27 years in nonprofit arts all over the country. So got to see a lot of different models, what works, what didn't work, construction, new operations, new building, historic buildings. So the opportunity to come to TPAC 5 years ago on May 13th, which is pretty exciting to celebrate that milestone, was really special to me because it felt like a culmination of a lot of things that I had worked on in my career. And the opportunity to come to this organization, there was such a great future envisioned. We knew we were going to have to make a decision about whether we were going to stay and renovate and do a massive renovation project, or if we were going to move to a new facility. So we've been working on that since the beginning, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about where we are. But first, let me start with where we came from. So 44 years ago, that's when the building was built. But even prior to that, Martha Ingram came to Nashville. She got married, was settling here with her husband, Bronson Ingram, and really wanted a place for her children and grandchildren to be able to see performing arts. She had had that experience when she went to college and said, I think we need this in our community. She went to the city, didn't get anywhere, went to the state, and they literally lifted up a building that they were already in the process of building, an office tower. They lifted it up. They put a performing arts center, 3 theaters, and the Tennessee State Museum underneath. And that is sort of the origin of TPAC. The only requirement that they gave to Mrs. Ingram and her group of volunteers was you need to raise $4 million from every county in the state of Tennessee so that there's buy-in support for this state performing arts center. So this was truly a unique private-public partnership. When I look around the country on my peers that are running performing arts centers, there's a lot of different models. There's some city-owned, county-owned, a few state-owned, but that's pretty rare. A lot of them are owned and operated by nonprofits. Some are owned and operated by for-profits, and I'll talk about that later. But this was really a remarkable sort of public-private partnership. And that $4 million has served as the base of the endowment that keeps supporting TPAC now. So I'll talk a little bit about our mission and then the future. You heard a little bit in the introduction. We champion excellence in the performing arts. One important piece of our mission statement, and you can see our mission and vision up here, is we really try to create live performance experience, but for everyone. We try to break down barriers for participating in arts. We look for people that haven't had the opportunity to experience arts. We not only bring them to the building, but we go out into the community. We create arts programs in schools. So I kind of like to say arts are our superpower. So if there's an issue, if there's a problem, if there's something that we can do, we try to use arts to solve it. We also are the performance home of 3 resident companies, the Nashville Rep, the Nashville Ballet, and the Nashville Opera. We do Broadway, dance, theater, and family. So that's kind of our primary business focus. There's a lot of concert venues in this region. Concert venues are wonderful. I love them. I'm a big live music fan myself. But we try to focus on more theatrical experiences, and it lends itself to the type of facilities we have. A theater has a much deeper stage than a concert venue. It has different acoustics. There's all the space that you can fly scenery and props and different things like that. So they're much different. And we're rather unique in having these, what we call proscenium theaters with a big fly house in the back of them. So we're really proud of our facilities. We have a wonderful Broadway series. It is the most successful Broadway series in the state of Tennessee. I know that because I'm friends with the guy at the Orpheum. Don't tell him I said this, but we have exceeded his subscriber number. Well, he knows we've done that, but we have exceeded his subscriber numbers, and we are the most successful touring Broadway product in the state of Tennessee. And we're really proud of that. We have over 15,000 subscribers to our Broadway series. You must know that our crowds have been going up and we're selling out shows left and right. So it's a really exciting time to be in a part of TPAC. We also launched a dance series last year. We brought the Scottish Ballet. It was their US premiere of The Crucible. And we were only one of 3 cities that held that. So we're just elevating the type of art that's coming through this region. We also have a theater series. And then I think one of the most fun for me is our family series. And we do things like Bluey, those of you with kids or grandkids, Bluey, Wild Kratts. We had to add Wild Kratts performances because they kept selling out, all kinds of different things. And then we try to have a family program on our Broadway series as well. The real, I think, distinction between for-profit sort of commercial theater and nonprofit is the ability for us to not only have our great mission, but to also serve the community. And these are a few different ways that we serve the community. We have a season for young people. Did anyone come to TPAC as an HOT kid on a bus? There we go. Yeah. You get on the bus at your school and then you come to TPAC and you see a performance. A lot of times that's the only time a kid gets to see a theater performance. A lot of arts programs in schools are cut. And so the ability to interact with that is important. Where I grew up, right outside of Detroit, same as Michael and Curry, our theaters downtown were owned by for-profit entities. So you could buy a ticket and go see a play or go see a musical, but they didn't have school programs. They didn't fill that gap in the schools because they were a for-profit model. So when we have revenues come in from our Broadway shows, we pour them back into the community. And these are some of the ways we do that. Disney musicals in schools, one of my favorite programs. Disney gave us the license. We were the first site outside of New York to do this program. We actually take a musical and we go into a school, we choose a school, we work with that school for 8 or 9 months. They produce a musical in their school. So we have then since created a theater program that is then self-sustaining that they can do over and over again. They all came, the schools that we partnered with this year came to TPAC yesterday, and our team was just sitting there crying, listening to the testimonies from the teachers and the kids telling about how meaningful it was to them to have this experience. Wolf Trap for early learning, those are the little ones. We serve age 3 all the way up to adults. Spotlight Awards is musical theater. We work with about 40 schools in their high school theater programs. Think Glee, if you all remember the TV show Glee. And then they get to compete. The top winners get to compete in New York. We also do community engagement programs, arts access programs, camps, different things like that. We also have this very cool new program called Magic Therapy. I was looking for something that really resonated with Nashville and Middle Tennessee. And to me, that was healthcare. So we found this magician who has research-based work on how magic therapy can help reduce anxiety in kids going through a procedure. This is research-based, so this isn't just arts, thinking this is good stuff. And he also does these programs where he also works with hospitals and doctors and physicians and dentists to actually teach them tricks that will help them have better bedside manner and help them work with patients. So we're really excited about that. WellPoint is sponsoring us this year, and we've been doing workshops at Meharry, and we're working with HCA and LifePoint and others. So this is I'm looking for things that kind of pair the arts as a superpower with the community. I mentioned the 3 resident companies. We are their performance home. We spend a lot of time in our facility serving our resident companies. We subsidize the amount of money that they have to pay, so it makes it affordable for them. And we're really proud of our artistic partnership. There we go. We talked about Tennessee performing arts being statewide, and I think this graph really speaks to that. We did some measuring of some of our key metrics and found that over the past 5 years, we have ticket holders from 100% of the counties in Tennessee. So people come from every single county in Tennessee to TPAC. This includes the pandemic years. So this metric includes the pandemic years. Student attendees, 78% of the Tennessee counties we serve through our student programs. And we have individual donors from 95% of the Tennessee counties. And they say giving begins at home, and you usually look at giving right outside your sort of immediate area. But I think this proves that across Tennessee, people see TPAC as home for them. This is our current facility. We talked about the new opportunity. When I first arrived, we studied renovation, we studied different options, and we determined that it was time for a new state-of-the-art facility. This is our campaign slogan, Be Bold, Build TPAC. And our architect team, we're working with a world-class architect team. When we sent out a proposal or a request for qualifications, we got teams of architects from all over the world. It was really kind of stunning. I saw one come in from Paris, and I said, do I get to go and visit their office and, have meetings out there? But no, we went with the best team. And BIG, which is Bjarke Engels Group, is just a fantastic, really creative architect team. You might have seen the renderings for the new Las Vegas baseball stadium. That was a big product. So if you haven't seen it, they released some renderings of that. William Ron, the one on my left. They are a performing arts specialist. So they've built performing arts centers such as Strathmore, Tanglewood, the Performing Arts Center at Duke University. So they're well known sort of in the performing arts space. And then we're also partnering with Hastings on the local level. It's an incredible team. They're very creative. We love working with them, and we can't wait to see the final product. This is our site. So this is not what it looks like right now, but envision the Titan Stadium or Nissan Stadium moving back. So that is a photo looking at what the new East Bank development will look like. I'm going to just step away for just a second. I think you can hear me. This is Oracle over here. And then this is all that developable land. That's where the Titan Stadium is right now. And then TPAC is right here. So we are going to be directly adjacent to the John Sigenthaler pedestrian bridge. So those of you that sort of know that area, we are going to be in a direct line to the Nashville Symphony, which is really exciting. I think it makes a wonderful connection between two arts institutions. We're going to be right on the river, so we're going to have visibility and prominence. It's going to be amazing and exciting as that whole river expands. I was asked to talk about parking, usher parking specifically. There's going to be development all around this area, and we're working with our partners and the development partners to build parking into the development. We're also going to probably see maybe some private garage options come up over where the scrap yards are, as that land starts to develop. But parking is a huge priority for us. We can't maintain our subscriber base without offering parking to our patrons. So we are, and our staff. And so we are taking that very seriously. We're probably going to have a two-phase parking solution, because we're going to be, after Titan Stadium, we're probably going to be the first major development on the East Bank before some of the towers and other things start to go up. So we'll still have surface parking for portion, and then that will develop into the next parking solution. So this is a little bit of what we're planning, how the building layout is going to go. It is all one building, but those are sort of the three sizes. So we have a 1,200 seat dance opera hall, which is going to be sort of closest to the river. And then in the middle, there's a kind of, we call it 500, but it's probably about 450 capacity flex theater, which is going to take place of our Johnson Theater, which is currently a black box. And then you're going to see our big sort of Broadway house, which is currently at 2,400, but we're actually increasing it to 2,600. There's going to be an entrance off the bridge level and a big plaza and kind of gardens there. And then on the lower level, coming in off of the kind of the streets leading into the development, we're going to have another plaza outdoors there with some performance stages and different things, and just nice, beautiful gardens, and then you can enter in the lobby. So the idea is to make the building really accessible so that you can get in from a number of different ways. So we're really excited about this kind of initial design. I will say what I'm about to show you, there's a couple slides that are not public, so just for your eyes only. This is a view from the inside. We are on the bridge lobby, standing really literally on the roof of the 500 seat, looking out onto the downtown area. And there's a big circular bar right in the middle, which is a beautiful gathering space. On the right, patrons can enter into the Broadway house. On the left, they can enter into the dance opera hall. This is an interior of the 2,600 seat venue. Those of you, how many of you have been to TPAC? I usually ask that in the beginning. Oh, very nice. Do you remember those big continental rows that are that you have to kind of walk all the way across? This is not that. We have a lot of aisles. We have a lot of front row seats. And the architects are trying to make it as intimate as possible to get everyone as sort of close to the action as they possibly can. So we're really excited. This is kind of a different configuration that you don't see in other spaces across the country. And then this is the 1,200 seat, the dance opera hall. So again, we have in our current facility, which is called Polk, we have a really beautiful, like nice rake so that when you're watching dance, you can really see the feet. It's got like great sight lines, and we really wanted to preserve that. So increasing the capacity a couple hundred seats, we did add another balcony, but that actually brings everybody about 24, 25 feet closer to the audience. We also serve a lot of communities with people with disabilities. We're partners with Backlight Productions, Friends Life Community, and we do a lot. Accessibility, especially with people with physical disabilities, is really important to us. So the architects were inspired, and in this particular hall, if you're sitting in the back, like in that mid-orchestra level, you can actually come onto stage without having to go on stairs or anything and come right onto the stage. And the architects designed it that way because a lot of times if you have someone in the audience with mobility issues and they're coming on stage to accept an award, you have to bring them through this backstage route. And they wanted the dignity of saying, you know, you're in the audience, but we want you to be able to fully participate in everything that's happening. Also, in both of these venues, There's a sensory room that is sort of attached. So if anyone has sensory issues, we want them to have the full experience of performance and they can enjoy anything on the main stage in a sensory safe space. So we are excited. I think one of the things that I probably buried the lead, I guess is what you call it, is when we decided that we were going to build a new facility, the first thing we did is we went to the state. And that office tower that I told you about that the state had to lift up and to put us underneath, the state did a real estate study and decided we really don't need this office tower. We have space in all of our places around Nashville and Middle Tennessee that we can move these people to. They were going to consolidate about 600,000 square feet from their real estate portfolio. And so it wasn't just about us, but we were a piece of that. So we saw that as an opportunity. They said, you know, you can stay and we're going to give this building to a developer and you know, we'll work with you on a ground lease. But when we studied renovation, it just doesn't work. We have severe loading challenges. The cores of the building are just not in great spots. Renovation was going to be difficult. So we went back to the state and said, hey, instead of you sort of supporting us in this, you know, this renovation model, what about if you just gave us that money in a one-time grant and we'll just get out of your hair and we'll go build a new facility? And the state agreed. And we pitched it to Governor Lee and the legislature, a lot of whom are season ticket holders, was extremely supportive. So the state gave us $200 million last year in the budget. And the requirement was that we have to raise 20% of that, so 40 million. They gave us $50 million in this year's budget, even with all the franchise tax issues that some of you read about, and said, we are still committed to this project. And then they wrote in the budget language, we will be giving you 250 in next year's budget. So the total commitment from the state is 500 million. They are asking us to raise 100 million. So that every dollar we raise, we unlock 5 from the state. So when you make a commitment, we send a redacted fundraising report to the state of Tennessee. They deposit 5 times that amount in our bank account. It is truly unprecedented. Again, I go back to that origin story of a public-private partnership, and this is exactly history repeating itself. It's a big goal, but I heard someone in one of our discussions say, you know, Tennessee is not going to leave $500 million on the table. You know, we only get that 500 million if we raise the money. So we are laser focused at raising the money. We have incredible naming opportunities. We have corporate opportunities for naming. In our current facility, we can't name anything because it's a state-owned building. TPAC will own this building. We will be in control of our own destiny, and we will be leasing land from the city or from Metro Nashville. And the lease terms that we identified in our memorandum of understanding are $100 a year. So we are so excited about this project, but it is going to take not just a community, but a state to get this done. We deserve a world-class performing arts center, the Nashville Rep, the ballet, the opera, TPAC, the kids. We all deserve to have this facility. And frankly, our building is going away. So their time is of the essence. And so we are in this, we're excited about this. I'm happy to take questions, but I also would love for you to think about how you can contribute, how you can help, how you can support. I am willing to go make this pitch. I am willing to go meet people and happy to take any questions. Yeah. We have, according to the state, we have about 5 years. So after every grant, so the grant last year gave us 5 years. And we're almost, I mean, we're inching up on that 40 million right now. We're at about 25. So we think we'll hit the 40 and X that out. So we have 5 years on that. We're taking pledges of a 5-year payoff. And does that answer your question? Yeah, 5 years.
So you alluded to this, but what's happening with the old building? Are they tearing that down?
I think they're gonna tear it down because the tower on top is a suspension tower. There's only, I think there were only 3 built and we're the only one left. And so the building itself, I think that there's so much deferred maintenance. The state has publicized it's about 120 million. So I think the best use of it is the dirt. And so when we exit, and the state is letting us stay until we build the new building. So they're clearing out their tower by 2025. We'll probably be in there. Hopefully we'll be out at the end of 2028 and then they'll just take it down.
And then the second question is, does the new building open up any opportunities for new events that you didn't have at the old building?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, first of all, I think there's going to be some beautiful like event spaces. It's going to be a very sort of a higher profile, sort of maybe concert venue or events venue, especially if we get any big events at Nissan Stadium. It's so close that it will be a nice sort of companion to that. But I'm really excited about the arts organizations. There's just a lack of theater space here. And so this will allow us to increase our musical theater camps, possibly into a conservatory, which I would be really excited if we could get there. It'll allow us to do more community engagement events. It will allow us to provide rehearsal space and performance space to more arts organizations that we don't even know about yet because they don't have the space right now to create. So yes, I think this is going to be a lot of new opportunities for us.
I know the bridge building is currently right there. Will this replace the bridge building or be adjacent to?
Yeah, it'll be right next to the bridge building. We're quite a bit bigger. So when you look at the renderings, you'll see us beyond the bridge, right behind it, but we're very close to it. Anyone here from Metro Housing, I'd love to program the bridge building, but it's just sort of I could put a lot of education classes in there, but yeah, it's going to be right next to it. And I think the bridge building is a historic building, so they're planning on keeping it.
Question about existing season ticket holders. How are they going to transfer the tickets over?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about the opportunity for season ticket holders because we are part of the business plan to move into this new facility. Knowing that we weren't a state building anymore, I'm like, we're going to have to figure out a way to pay for this. So about 4 years ago, 3.5, we wrote a strategic plan, and part of it was to increase our, create a better culture of philanthropy, increase our annual fund, and then move our Broadway and grow subscribers. So in 1819, we had about 8,900 subscribers. We have over 15,000 subscribers right now. So we're actually tracking ahead of plan on our subscriber growth. And we're about at the point where we're ready to move into a 2-week subscription. So if you're a Tuesday night subscriber, moving forward, probably in the 26-27 season, you're going to be able to subscribe either Tuesday, the first week Tuesday or second week Tuesday. So our current subscribers are going to actually get more options in seating. So if you've been trying to get into another seating level and you haven't been able to because it's been so tight, you're going to have now a whole nother week of shows to move into. So that's going to take us then into the new building. And so we have more inventory, more seating options. So I think the subscribers are going to be really happy. And I'm glad we're ahead of plan so we can do it before we move to the new building. Oh, we also doubled our annual fund. So
I was wondering, do the subscriber donations that we make with our tickets, does that actually go toward this, or is that used for something else?
That is part of our annual fund. So we've doubled our annual fund this year, which has provided a base of support for the operations, but also the programs that you saw on the screen. Our annual fund pays for things like the Disney musicals in schools and all the community outreach programs. This is a capital fundraising. So if you are donating to this project, your donation specifically goes to capital and the building project itself. So some people are making blended annual and capital gifts. So they'll donate to the annual fund and then they'll make a capital gift.
But this project's, it's very separate. And the donation along with your season tickets though that supports all the programs that you saw on the screen. Yep. Yeah, this will open that way up in all the facilities. We'll have a lot more options for wheelchairs at different sections too. Yeah. Worn you out. Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure speaking to you today.
Jennifer, we'd like to present you with a pin that has our club logo on it as a gift for speaking to us today. And we'll ask that you use that pin to sign this book that we read to school children. And when we open the book and see your signature, we'll tell them about your visit to our club. I'm gonna hand that. Thank you. Let's see. Want to re-welcome all of our guests today. Michael and Paul, you guys are not really guests, you're more family. Deb and Jean, we're honored that you chose our club to visit today. Please come back. And Chris and Drew, we're looking forward to getting you guys one of Jennifer's red badges and making you new members instead of being on the guest list. Let's see. If you could, after Rotary, please help stack the chairs in stacks of 8 and help to put away the tables if you're able to. And other than that, anything else for the good of Rotary? Seeing Rod has something for the good. Oh, we're happy you're here. Sure.
And he went up the list of almost everything you could get yourself into. And
He's brave. He was brave.
In 1977, he led a GSC team to India for 4 weeks. He also, in 1985, that was when Rotary started their Polio Plus campaign. He was asked to serve on that committee and was assigned to be in charge of the Northeast United States, which meant that he went probably once a week. He drove out there to speak to Rotary clubs about what was going on in Rotary. And so I don't know whether I say fortunately for him or me, he passed 11 years ago, but guess who's working with Polio Plus now? They're
awesome.
They're starting up, and if anybody's interested in seeing, I attended a meeting what was involved about a week ago, no, 2 weeks, and they're making necklaces, and they're beautiful out of the vaccination that is out of date. And
oh, interesting.
they're the money that they're getting from that are going into Rotary to help. It's down to, well, it's down to 1 club, it's not 1 district, but it's back now. I think it's an international direction. And I go on, maybe travel a lot, but doing things together. So he got united a lot with people. Because he didn't have to hire a translator, and then they didn't have to do it. Go around and Well, our kids went with us to the two different nights, and they were little. And they came back, all speaking, were 5, 4, and 2. No, my father was so excited to see them and talk to them.
That's neat. Thank you for that. That was interesting. Anybody else? Okay, we are adjourned. Oh, we are not adjourned.
Dr. Wang's movie site is opening all around the country on May 24th, Friday, May 24th. I bought 100 tickets. I'd love to give them away. Anybody who wants to go with me, I'm going to go to the, it's at Green Hills and what's the one at 100 Oaks? What do they call it at 100 Oaks?
Thoroughbred.
No,
No?
whatever the 100 Oaks is. Regal. Okay, but it has a name. But anyway,
Okay.
Hollywood 27. There you go. See, she knows. Anyway, I have 100 tickets. I'd love for you to join me. There's a 6 o'clock showing and like an 8:50 showing. May 24th. Thank you.
Hey, we are adjourned. I'm gonna go back to work.